these reparations, and yet these panels in San Francisco and statewide keep coming forward saying we need all this money to go to these people and we need it now.
Yeah, it's a big problem. You know, first off, psychologically, we know that giving people massive amounts of money generally doesn't work out very well for the people that are getting the money. But in this case, it's going to stoke racial tensions. It's going to stoke racial jealousy. One group being pitted against another group. I imagine that's going to increase violence. It's going to take care of it's going to hurt the free market, you know, the housing costs. Everything is going to be turned upside down by this. I mean, that's assuming that the state can really make good on its promise and actually pay out this amount of money, considering we're what $24 billion in the hole already.
Could be $30 billion, and that's a risk as well, because if you don't, if you come forward with these task forces and they say pay this, and the state doesn't have the money to pay this, then it's a problem as well.
And then people are pretty upset. They started. I know human nature is to start spending the money before you actually get it. When you hear you're going to get it.
Yeah, I want to put. We talked about this in the Real News Roundup. Scott Baio saying, after 45 years, I am making my way finally exit stage right from California. The most recent survey conducted by the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority found approximately 69,000 people experiencing homelessness in LA County, 41,000 in the city in 2022. You've dealt with this, Bill, in your city. It's a problem that every city leader goes through. What do you think of that? I mean, for me, I would say that, you know, taxes are the #1 problem in California. But if you're leaving the state for homelessness, I mean, it's a fair point.
Well, taxes are sure a big problem, but you know, homelessness is really connected with crime and quality of life as regards to that. And I think that a lot of people are obviously leaving the state because they feel like it's unsafe and they feel like it's never going to get any better. I think there's a helplessness and a hopelessness that goes along with that.
Yeah, it really is. And I want to put these numbers up because I was kind of staggered by these. This is the diagnosis of youth with gender dysphoria, and it's surging in the United States. Look at 2017, right? You have 15,000. In 2021, you're up to 42,000. That's almost 3 times what you had just 4 years earlier. And we still don't have the numbers for 22 and 23. And my guess is from those, it's going to be higher, Bill. I mean, you're a psychologist. We should point this out.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to get your take on this, because this seems like it is growing at an astronomical rate.
It's beyond what science would expect. In the UK last year, they reported a 4,500% increase in teenage girls seeking gender reassignment surgery and or medication. It reminds me very much of the bulimia anorexia crisis in the 80s when I first started working in psychiatric hospitals, which was really peaked for several years and then kind of went away.
Right, but now, you know, back in the 80s, the schools weren't trying to foster the anorexia, bulimia problem. Now you have schools that are kind of on board fostering this behind the parents' backs.
Well, it certainly seems more political than scientific. And, you know, as a medical person, you first try to do no harm.
Right.
And so when an anorexic person would come in, you wouldn't say, well, we're going to help you lose more weight, because that would be wrong. But in this particular case, we're saying that we have to do exactly what the teenage girl wants us to do, regardless of what the science says about it and how dangerous it would be, knowing that most of these kids, if they just let them to their own devices, they would eventually grow out of it.
They figured out.
And they wouldn't have permanent surgery or permanent medication.
Yeah, you got to ask a parent if you want to give a kid an aspirin, but puberty blockers, nope, you can hide that. Thank you, Bill Wells.
My
Good
pleasure.
to see you.
Thank you.